Good morning, everybody. My name is Bambang Ismawan. I came from Jakarta, Indonesia. My organization name is Bina Swadaya, means Self-Reliance Development Foundation. This foundation has been started since 43 years ago. I was the co-founder of this foundation. Very short, I would like to introduce that this foundation is seeking for self-reliance of the rural poor. And we are concentrated in three major areas. First, we are strategized to improve the quality of people participation in the organization. We call it self-help groups. And in the self-help groups, it's a kind of vehicle of learning and teaching among the members. They are also vehicles for mobilizing resources among the members. These vehicles is also good to initiate many activities in the rural area. The second area of our activities is what we call it promoting production of the people in the rural area by publishing magazine, agricultural magazine, and books. And from these magazines, we are in cooperation with research center, and based on the recommendation of what kind of products we get from the research center, we are promoting in our magazine through testing it in the community, and then we get testimony, and from the testimony we write articles in the magazines and also in the books, and then we get the reaction of the interest of the people, and based on that reaction we conduct training on the particular products. We organize marketing through Agro Expo in Jakarta, in many other places. And then we consult also, we establish shops. Shops of Bina Swadaya, about 20 shops. And now also we start with the franchising of the agricultural shops. Number three, area of our activities is what we call it microfinancing services through saving-led microfinance, in which the capital coming from the member. Credit-led microfinance, it is coming from an investor. Microbanking, Bina Swadaya established 3 rural banks, and also what we call it linkage model. That's a model of linking self-help group with any banks in the rural area, in which the Central Bank of Indonesia is promoting this kind of program. So that was about my organization. Today I was asked by the committee, organizing committee, to talk about rural economy revitalization movement with women's initiatives. The purpose of development in Asian countries, including Indonesia, tend to urban and gender bias. Proof: rural development is far behind compared with urban areas. Women have an important role in the development process, but their position still marginalized. And this is the Indonesia, where is it? And in this case, I will talk a lot about women in the particular area. That is the area that we are going to talk. Village development challenge in Indonesia. according to the National Planning Board or the Government Board. First, low quality of rural human resources, low community control assets, lack of alternative employment quality, low level of social services, increasing degradation of natural resources and environment, occurrence of irrigated farmland conversion and technical for other uses, weak institutional or community-based organization, weak linkage of economic activities sectorally and spatially, utilizations of business opportunity is not optimum, the emergence of trade barriers and interregional distribution, lack of cross-sector coordination in the development of rural area. That is the situation in rural development in Indonesia. Now I'm talking about Human Development Report and gender development. Referring to the Human Development Report, gender development in Indonesia ranked number 90. The low ranking of Human Development Report indicates to a number of issues, among others, for the woman is in weak bargaining positions in society, repression culture, discrimination in public and domestic spaces. Indonesia women continues to increase their participation in various development fields despite many obstacles, as described hereafter. About 70% of Indonesia's poor population, or about 22.8 million, are women. Approximately 11.56% of women have basic education only, primary school. The illiterate rate of women is 12.28%. Female labor force participation rate is about 40.2%. The reality at bureaucracy of about 3.7 people, as many as 1.5 or 41% are women. The rate is quite high, but they are not treated fairly for career development with the indication. The first echelon, only 63 women, or about 9.7%. Second echelon, 755 women, or about 6.7%. In other public sector, the presence of women is still very limited. The target of women representation in politics is 30%. It was the consensus. But the relation is very low. Women participation in parliament is about 101 people in the period of 2009-2015, or about 18%. Representation of women in the Senate, 36 people, or about 17.4%. Women with gender inequality regarding education, accessibility to capital, land ownership, information, low wages with longer working hours, domestic violence, child bearing expenses in divorce, etc. Approximately 69% of rural women work as farm laborers and farm workers. About 60% of women become the economic backbone of the family. Maternal mortality rate 420 per 100,000 live births. About 70% of world poor are Indian. This is the background that the women's situation in the country. Now I'm sharing about the women empowerment and family welfare movement. In Indonesia we call it PKK. In 1970s, Mrs. Isriati Munadi, the wife of Central Java government, established a women empowerment and family welfare movement, PKK. Ministry of Home Affairs instructed all governments in Indonesia to incorporate the PKK movement to all regions in Indonesia at national, provincial, district, and village level. PKK is a movement that grew out from bureaucrats, wife of the heads of regional officers, toward the realization of prosperous family and rural development programs. The strength of PKK, that is their existence in every village all over Indonesia. This has happened because of the strong political support of the government. Meanwhile, in 1998, political reforms toward democratizations and decentralization with multi-party system, the PKK movement has experienced setbacks for lacking of political support. Ladies and gentlemen, what about social movement? Social movement is the movement of community interests, such as workers, peasants, etc. Their fighting aspirations usually are more physical in nature, such as salary increase and welfare. They tend to fight for group interest. New social movement is a movement of people that does not only involve a certain group, for example, economic interest, for certain economic interest, but fighting for broader interest, namely the ideals of humanity. For example, gender equality movement, environmental movement, movement against corruption, movement against injustice, anti-violence movement, and so forth. The following figures can be seen as a new model of social movement. I'm trying to collect individuals who are really start with the movement. Ms. Susmayati, from the socio-economic self-help group to a political village head. She is the chairman of self-help group in Sidorpun, East Java. That's East Java and then East Java. Self-help group is empowering member for socio-economic development. She was elected as the head of the village at local level for a general election, defeated in incumbent. So meaning that if the women are really works for the betterment of social economic of life for the people, then they are of the heart of the people. And whenever the political scenario is coming, then he is a very prominent person. Another example is Mrs. Nani Zulminar, focused on empowering widows to noble candidates. pioneer of the Women as Head of Families program, we call it PK, to enhance the empowerment of widows, assisting over 400 groups with members over 10,000 people, being one of the 1,000 candidates for Nobel Prize in 2005, working areas in 8 provinces. I know her very well, and he was just accepted as a finalist for social entrepreneurs of the Earth and Young the day before I left. Another example, Ms. Yuyun Ismawati from Care for Trust to Goldman Environment Prize. Treat wastewater and garbage in the surrounding poor communities. Develop a system of waste and water management which become a model in Asia and Africa. Introducing a biosand filter technology to improve household water quality and reduce dependency on bottled drinking water. Areas for working is in Bali. Bali famous here? Okay. And this is just to tell you about picture of this work. Next is Ms. Tri Mumpuni. She is here now. Introducing micro hydropower plant up to Asia and Africa. Develop potential of village economy. More than 60 remote villages in Indonesia have gained power with micro hydropower plant. Introduce micro hydropower plant technology to Asia and Africa. Areas of work throughout Indonesia. This is what she is doing. If you want to know more about what she is doing, she is around. Another example is Ms. Sri Surya Diningsih, Women Micro-Entrepreneurs Empowerment in Central Java. She began with credit to a number of tempe. You have tofu here, in Indonesia we have tempe. It's also made from soya, but tempe is made through fermentation. A number of tempe and porridge maker, many women micro-entrepreneurs joined. In 2003, established the Care for Women Enterprise Forum in Boyolali, Central Java. Women Entrepreneur Forum was growing up to 3 sub-districts in Boyolali. Besides financial services, she promotes capacity building and gender equality. And this is the area he is working in Central Java. Mrs. Sakti Penny Wulandari developed housewife capacity to become educators. She developed housewife capacity to become educators for their children in terms of arithmetic, reading, writing, art, creativity, and care for children and families. One of the prominent branding is Jari Matika, which is using the magic of fingers. Jari means fingers. So she is using fingers that used to learn mathematics. It's a very wonderful initiative. Jarimatika promoted with the franchise system, and the number of mothers who were trained to reach of 600,000 scattered around 433 branches and 120 cities in Indonesia. It's a very simple thing, but it's very interesting area of work throughout Indonesia. When I learned from what are they doing and relate to this topic of this paper this morning, rural economy revitalization movement, I would like to have some notes and recommendations. The first recommendation is to change development paradigm that is more pro-women and pro-poor. Rural economic revitalization movement needs to increase the dignity of women, either in relation to education, health, law, and income generation. Rural economic revitalization movement needs to be in accordance with the revitalization of agriculture that respect to women. Remember, almost 70% of Indonesian rural women work in agriculture sector. Capacity building for women's organizations. Entrepreneurship development for women. And if rural economic revitalizations and strengthening of the women movement to be conducted with the following strategies. First, capacity building. Second, promotion of self-help groups. Number 3, financial services related to microfinancing. And number 4, network development. Rural economic revitalizations and strengthening of women movement in new social movement is not the movement of certain group of interest, but a wider interest, namely the ideas of humanity. That is my contribution. Thank you very much.
안녕하세요. 저는 조혜라 사시입니다. 저는 일본에서 왔습니다. 감사합니다. I'm representative director of a non-profit organization called ASES20101030. And I'd like to talk about my organization activity and はい、失礼しました。いいですか？最初からですか？はい。I'm a representative director of non-profit organization called ASES20101030. Today I'd like to talk about my organization activities and hope that you get the idea of business opportunity in rural agriculture. We mainly work in Mastomi area, which is a village suffering from loss of population and aging. We work for revitalization of this area by promotion, participation of a variety of urban residents and urban business enterprises. In Japan, with a rapidly aging and decreasing population and serious shortage in the workforce, rural agriculture and forestry as rural economy has been declining. Through our activity, on the other hand, I could say that rural villages in Japan have come in the best times. Now let me about my background little. I used to engage in business consultation in Tokyo, especially finance. In that time, I experienced Japan's economic bubble era and its burst. And I expected accumulation of bad loan and hollowing out of Japanese industry. Then I became worried about Japan's declining food self-sufficiency. Then I decided to move to Yamanashi and started farming to practice self-sufficient lifestyle in 1995. My life study. My forestry activity 13 years ago, photograph. After I started farming in Yamanashi, a lot of people got interested in what I was doing. And they visited me even from urban regions to share my individual activity with more people. We set up ASES20101030 in 2001, what it is now. About our base Mastomi. Mastomi is a typical depopulated rural village in Japan with a lot of derelict farmland. While Mastomi is suffering from loss of population, there is a trend that more urban residents become attracted to rural life or farming villages. As Mastomi has easy access from capital regions like Tokyo and Yokohama. Here. I chose there for the base of our urban-rural exchange program. To confirm this trend, please see this letter. According to a research 2005 of Cabinet Office of Japan, 30% of urban residents are attracted to rural life, and those are mainly aged in their 20s or 50s. 20s, 50s, higher. Actually, a lot of young people visit our organization. Then we organize programs which connect urban residents with rural farming villages. In our past 3 years activity in Maston, we started cultivating 3 hectares of derelict farmland, receiving farming volunteers from urban regions. The number of volunteers reached as many as 500 people per year. Here, cultivating volunteers, 500 volunteers per year. Now our organization has 5 core projects. 1, farming. 2, green tourism. 3, organizing collaboration projects with business enterprises. 4, development of urban-rural coordinators. 5, natural energy project. Cultivating abundant farmland. Before, after farm products at cultivated farmland in our farm, and soybeans, tomato, potato, corn, etc. After 3 years activity in mastodomy, we gained certain amount of farmland, and we also gained some stuff to work with. Also, we built a structure for urban residents to visit mastodomy. In other words, we had developed human resource of future farmers. But this our activity wasn't perfect. This activity doesn't make money. Urban residents come and do farming, but no one gives us money. So we need to build strong economy in rural village. Then my answer was simply collaborating with companies. Then we actually started project to create works in mastodomy by collaborating with companies. Now we have 8 collaborating companies with us, farming together and even development products together. Those companies have distilled direct farmland in mastodomy. One of the example of collaboration with company. We collaborate with a confectionery company based in Yamanashi. This company staff members first cultivate direct farmland in mastodomy by themselves. Yes. Then they have been growing local soybeans there. They participate in series of farm work throughout the year as training for employees, from sowing, even mowing to harvesting. The company buys all the farm products they grow. These farming activities lead to positive results toward product development. They create new sweets using their farming products. This sweet has become one of their hit products. We named Company Farm Project for those projects which company destroys our farmland. Companies farms scheme. Another example of collaboration with company. We have been collaborated with Mitsubishi Estate Company for 3 years, one of the biggest real estate company in Japan, based in business center areas of Tokyo. At first, we organized a farming tour for those who work for Mitsubishi Estate groups. The participants and local residents in mastodomy worked together cooperatively to cultivate abundant rice terrace through the tour. Yes. Cultivating tour. The rice terrace was symbol of mastodomy, but it had been abandoned because of aging and having no one to take care of. In this farm tour program, we also hold a workshop to discuss plans how they digitalize the rice terrace that they just cultivate in the tour program. From that workshop, we had two great plans. One is apartment farm plan, a plan which organizes farming tour for the residents in the apartment that Mitsubishi Estate owns. And the other is restaurant farm plan, a plan which supplies farm goods from Mastomi to the restaurants in center of Tokyo, the base of Mitsubishi Estate. Those plans have actually gotten off the ground. This year, we've organized rice farming tour for Mitsubishi Estate Group workers and also their families. Mitsubishi Estate and we also collaborated with traditional rice wine brewing company in Yamanashi. Here. And we used the rice for brewing rice wine. The rice which the participants planted and harvested in that tour. Now the brewing is in its process. That rice wine will be marketed in the center of Tokyo early next year. And also in this year, we organized Yamanashi Food Fair at restaurant floor, which is a floor Mitsubishi Estate owns. Here, Mitsubishi Estate building restaurant. During 2 weeks fair, each restaurant offers special dishes with ingredients from Yamanashi. The fair was great success. Through those collaboration projects, we connect urban residents with rural residents and urban food with rural agriculture. Now we have collaboration project connecting forestry resources in Yamanashi with building sector of Mitsubishi Estate. As a real estate company, of course, Mitsubishi Estate is closely connected to forestry. Then being considered development of domestic timber product. Then we organized the forest tour for building sector and forestry sector and Mitsubishi Estate. And the participants for the tour experienced tree thinning in the forest of Mastomi area. At the same time, we organized a committee to discuss timber product development, distillizing the forest resources in Yamanashi, of which members include those from Forest Policy Planning Department of the city and Yamanashi Prefecture. And we achieved commercializing domestic timber products using Yamanashi forest resources. Yes. Commercializing of 2x4 members timber product from Yamanashi, released in 2011. To tell the truth, when we started out our project in Mastomi in 2003, we were not warmly welcomed by the residents there. But as a lot of people come to visit Mastomi to join our project or tours, the residents gradually came to understand and enjoy our project too. Then eventually, the residents themselves set up Mastomi Revitalization Committee, Mastomi Revitalization Committee. Now they organize their tourism event like art camp, trekking, distillizing local resources by themselves. To create broader partnership, we also set up a project called Kanto Tourism University in central region of Japan, and an opportunity for rural agricultural resources to meet the best business enterprise to collaborate with. Through this course, we share our urban-rural exchange business model in broader areas. Kanto Tourism University scheme. Kanto Tourism University campus. One of campus introduced. Campus 1, Yamanashi Prefecture. Campus 2, Nagoya Prefecture. Campus 3, Ibaraki Prefecture. Campus 4, Tochigi Prefecture. Tokyo campus with Mitsubishi Estate. After Lehman's fall in 2008, our activities received more attention from companies. I felt sure about companies' high interest in direct farmland and distillizing of local resources. Then we organized a bus tour for companies to visit direct farmland in Yamanashi. Here. 2-4 companies explore the possibility of distillizing direct farmland. Then we organized a bus tour. 15 companies joined this tour. We also set up a prefecture-wide company farm project, which aims to distillize direct farmland across areas in Yamanashi collaboration with companies by applying the Mastomi model to Yamanashi areas. We also started collaboration with a Federation of Commerce and Industry of district in Tokyo. Challenge. Throughout our activities, our rural exchange program and or collaboration with company. Important factor is human resource, which can manage and coordinate rural resources to meet companies' needs. Now our activity area is Yamanashi-wide, but if we expand this business model across Japan, rural agriculture and rural resources hold enormous potentialities for business opportunity. Rural resources in Japan, if those are all distillized throughout the country, hold enormous potentials to generate 10 trillion and 100 billion US dollar, 130 trillion won industry, and 1 million of employment in Japan. Breakout. This is all about my presentation. Through our case, I hope that we could share our business opportunities that can revitalize rural communities and rural and culture. Now I have one suggestion I'd like to talk about. How about building partnerships on urban-rural exchange in Asian regions, which would be Asian Tourism University scheme. I wish to discuss this scheme with you. Thank you very much. 감사합니다.